Hey guys, so this is hopefully just going to be a quick response to a supposed debunk video that we spotted earlier on my feed. So this has come up under Awake Souls, and they are posting a video claiming to debunk Soundly by Enslaved by Media. So this is it here. Now basically what they do is they use Soundly's video that he put out a few days back called Winter is Coming, which had some video from either side of the causeway, and try to make a point about how he's filmed it. So let me just get it to the relevant points. Okay.
That's definitely the bascule.
Okay. So they've stopped the video to say they want you to notice that we're at the 1 mile marker. So it's the 0.9 and 1 mile. And they just make a point of hammering this home a wee minute about where the camera's looking. Okay, so this is them making their first point. They want you to remember that this is where we're looking at on the bridge. They then go on to use Andrew John's footage, who is a flat earther who went down to Lake Pontchartrain a few months back. Now, let me just see if I can find the relevant part where they stop it again to try and make their case. Okay. So now, here's what they've got to say about this part of the video with Andrew Johns. Okay, so for the 1.2 mile marker, what they're claiming here is that the bridge takes a sharp angle to the left. So they're saying the bridge deviates from parallel or whatever and takes a sudden change. So this is basically the crux of what they're saying is Soundly being devious, which is to say that he's intentionally brought the video in at a point where you can't see this deviation in the bridge. Okay. Okay, so skipping it in a wee bit more, as you can see, they're making this point again. Look how it goes to the left after the arrow. Alright. And here's the, as I say, this is the crux of their whole supposed debunking. So this is what they're saying, is that Soundly was only zoomed in at the 1 mile mark, and that was making it look as if it was. So what they're basically saying is that there's a deviation in the bridge and it hooks to the left at this point, and that Soundly was only zoomed in at a point where you couldn't see that change. So let's see if that holds up to be true. First of all, let's go back to where they were showing Soundly's video and where they paused it. Now you should hopefully already notice the problem here, and it's fine, I'm just going to hammer this home anyway. So as I was pointing out, it starts at 0.9, then 1, 1.1, etc. Now if you look at the features on the bridge, you can't see a deviation, and also if you look at the pillars, you can see these changes to these light grey ones. So if we skip back to Andrew John's footage where they were trying to make the point that there was a deviation, and we can see 1 mile, 1.1, 1.2. The 4 light grey pillars are roughly in line with the point where they're claiming there is a deviation. So 4 light grey pillars, 1.2 and 1.3 mile marker. Back to Soundly's. Starts before there. There you can see the light grey pillars, and that's your 1.2 and 1.3 mile markers. So actually, this footage by Soundly is starting before the point where they're claiming the deviation starts, but it's at a different elevation, and the bridge looks different here. It doesn't look like there's any kind of deviation in it. Also, just to back this up, this is a video that Soundly made some time back. You can see there, it's 27th of June. It's one of the many that he's made, and he is down on the same set of rocks that Andrew John is in the video that he's made, and you can clearly see that he's getting the same effect on the bridge, the same 4 grey pillars, the same apparent little hump here that they're claiming is a deviation. So there's no attempt by Soundly to hide anything anyway. And then in Google Earth, I have gone to the point where we're looking above the causeway, and I've been down in Street View and roughly marked where the mile markers are. So this is the 1 mile mark. And then just scrolling up, you can see that there's no deviation in the bridge. That's the 1.3 mile mark. So this is covering the area that we're looking at, and there's no apparent deviation in the bridge. They look parallel. Okay. And now finally, the Pontchartrain Causeway being quite a world famous place. Lots of people do make videos going over this bridge. So I'm just going to leave you with 2 of these to show how the bridge actually looks as you're travelling over it at that point. Now I've got them both queued up. They're playing at different speeds. This one's more sped up, but I've got them both queued up starting from the same point, which is the 0.4 marker. And I'll just let these play. So we'll start with the slower one first. So that says at the 1 mile mark. And this is the area. Okay, so that's the 1.3. No apparent deviation that I can see between the 1 mile. That's the 1.4 now. 1.5. Okay, and then the other video again, start from the same point, but it's moving quicker, sped up.
We reach Lake Pontchartrain in the beginning of the causeway bridges. These parallel bridges span Lake Pontchartrain near its center and stretch almost 24 miles across the water. These bridges hold the Guinness record of the longest continuous bridges over water in the world.
0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. I'm not seeing any deviation in any of those, so I'll leave the links in the description for this video, and you can check these out for yourselves and see whether you think there's any deviation. And again, just to remind you that in Soundly's own video, which they're claiming he was being devious and hiding that part of the bridge, it actually does start before that part of the bridge, and at this higher elevation there isn't any apparent kink in the bridge, and it looks as though it's maybe more a case of there's a slight hump at this area here rather than a deviation to any side, and it just is more apparent from a lower elevation. But you can check it all out for yourself. You can look at Soundly's videos, because as I've pointed out, he doesn't hide this area of the bridge in any of his videos whenever he's in that area looking from that point. He doesn't hide it in the video where they're claiming he's supposed to hide it in any way in the first place. And then you can go and look at these videos to see how it actually looks to travel over the bridge, and you can check out Google Earth to see whether you think there's any deviation in the bridge. Cheers.